And hello and welcome to the OB Builders Cup Series live from virtual Kansas Speedway. I'm Sheldon Atkins, joined in the booth by Taylor Burris and the ever so awesome Austin Derbyshire down in the production truck. And these guys getting ready to take on one of the most unique mile-and-a-half circuits on the service. A lot of different lanes here that work. Kansas, man, this is an action track, and we're gonna be pretty much out of breath from start to finish. I mean, we haven't gotten started yet, and I'm already out of breath. How about you, Taylor?
Absolutely. I'm excited about this track. Opened back in 2001, one of the newest mile-and-a-half tracks that we've had racing on the NASCAR circuit for quite some time, and has provided some of the most closest finishes in NASCAR history here at this mile-and-a-half track. And I gotta say, racing at the Kansas Speedway has always been providing some great excitement, great racing action, and by far, we're looking forward to seeing it happen here in the virtual world.
You look at the booking standings right now. Currently top of the board, though, it's Sean Conklin over Justin Levine in second. That much I know is a fact.
As we take a look right quick to the keys to the race, first and foremost, we have to talk about, as we take a look, make like a catfish. Stick to that bottom here this past week. Racing at the bottom of the racetrack has been the preferred racing line compared to what we used to see running high, wide, and handsome. But one thing we have to be aware of is that tire wear. Those tires are definitely going to go through certain phases in this race where you got to take care of them if you want to last throughout the entire fuel run and not have to try and bite your way into pit road. And finally, aero block. We've seen some of that happening throughout the years racing at the Kansas Speedway, and these drivers here, with how aero-sensitive these cars are, is critical to watch where you place your car to keep the competition from coming around you and taking your bait away and taking home a checkered flag.
As we move forward here to the broadcast picks here tonight. Great keys, by the way, Taylor. This place is going to be very exciting, but I'm going to go with that 21 machine Patrick Gitter. I feel like we come to these tracks that have multiple grooves and a lot of different ways you can overdrive your cars and tear the tires off it. I always feel like that 21 machine finds its way up to the front when it matters most. How about you, Taylor?
Well, for me, I've been looking at the practice charts, looking at the qualifying charts, and I'm going to go with the number 97 of Mr. Reese Schaefer. He has had some great speed here and always one to watch, and it looks like our very own Mr. Derbyshire has picked Mr. DeCiani to take on this opportunity to win tonight.
I see one thing in common here with a lot of these guys that we've got picked. All really good on the long runs. But right now, getting a look at the starting grid on the pole, it's going to be Patrick Gitter in the 21 machine. Nicholas Isaac's going to be on the outside in second. Second row is going to go to Sean Conklin and Matt DeCiani, followed by other pick, Reese Schaefer and Paul Bergoli, 5th and 6th. Starting seventh place is going to be John Bender with Daniel Wiles to the outside in 8th. And running out the top 10 is going to be Roger Pierce and Bryce Rayner.
Moving on into row number 6 from Holman, Wisconsin is Chris Vincent in 11th, with Mount Pleasant, North Carolina's Randy Mullins. Shane Clore from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Chris Crosby from South Boston, Virginia will be in row number 7. Row number 8, Brandon Pascalacqua from Charlotte, North Carolina, and Milwaukee's, Wisconsin's very own Alexander Carr in 16th. In row number 9, we'll find Richard Kleiman from Las Vegas, Nevada, with Keith Long in the 18th position. Rounding out your top 20 from Avila, Florida, Greg Carr, and Chesney, South Carolina's Evan C. rounds out your top 20.
Starting in 21st, keeping with the themes of threes, it's going to be the 3 machine of Luke Christian with Joseph Causey to the outside in the 88 machine in 22nd. Starting 23rd, going to be Paul Hill with Justin Levine in 24th. 25th place on the grid, going to go to Adam Benefield with Brian Johnson to the outside. I'm getting messed up here somehow. 26th is Chris Davis with Paul Gallimore to the outside in 27th. Rolling off the grid, 28th is going to be Chris Hudson with Chad Kibbe to the outside in 29th. And rounding out the top 30 here is going to be the 24 machine of Jose Medina.
As we move further on, it's going to be an exciting one here tonight, though I have to say, Sheldon, as I'm looking forward to this action, who has what it takes to try and take home the flag here tonight?
Yep, 31 of the greatest stars in A-Open and NIS going to take to the track here tonight and give us something exciting to watch. It's going to be action-packed, start to finish, multiple different lanes working. A lot of different ways you can win this race, but there's a lot of different ways you can lose it as well.
Absolutely, as there goes Fred the pace car driver off of pit road and leading your 32 drivers out to do battle for 175 laps.
You're running aboard with our pole sitter here, Patrick Gitter. The 21 machine always looking good with the Kevin Harvick paint scheme tacked to the side of it. Nicholas Isaacs, though, that's one that's been showing a lot of pace here recently.
Curious
Of course,
to see
we
how.
can't. Oh, sorry about that, Taylor.
I was going to say,
Okay.
I'm curious to see how this all plays out with some of our drivers. You know, fuel strategy, I'd have to say, would be about 45 to 50 laps on the situation for fuel mileage. So if everything plays out right, we should be seeing maybe about 4, maybe 3 pit stops.
There's also going to be somebody that's going to try and stretch it and try to find some kind of way to make magic happen. But fuel in the hands of Patrick Gitters. He gets ready to lead 31 hard charges into the restart zone here. Green flag is in the air, and we're underway for OB Builders Cup Series racing here from Kansas. Down to turn 1. Patrick Gitter and Sean Conklin starting to walk away on the inside line away from the rest of the pack. Reese Schaefer in third, going to clear the one machine of Nicholas Isaacs out of turn 2 to solidify third spot here. And 3 wide down to 3 with Roger Pierce to the bottom, DeCiani up top, and one of the cars in the middle.
That is the 23 of car as Paul Bergoli tries to work his way through the running order as he'll dive it 3 wide down to the bottom of the racetrack side by side as they battle up ahead of him. Roger Pierce trying to get the 4th spot away from Nicholas Isaac, who will move up a spot here. Great racing action in the early stages as we see multi-groove action at its finest. DeCiani tries to hold that outside lane as Levine shot out of a cannon picks up multiple spots using that high line.
Yeah, Levine all week's been running that high line, charging early to try and make the passes. As we see Reese Schaefer going for the opposite mentality here, goes to the back here, trying to save a little bit of tire on that 97 machine, going to give a spot up to Conklin and a spot up to Pierce. And Conklin hounding the back of the 21 Fortis Chevrolet here into turn 1. Dips it all the way down there to the paint. That's where you want to be. You want to save those tires. Just get a little bit of that left side tire hooked up on the paint itself, and it really helps you save these things here. And Conklin trying to strike early here on the 21 machine.
How about Justin Levine? He's up there running that high line, and he is picking them up and putting them down like nobody's business here in the opening couple of laps. He started outside the top 20 and is now inside just about, I have to say, right around the top 10. He's in 7th as he crossed the line, and he is working his way through the running order. Paul Bergoli now goes up to the top side of the racetrack to try to hold the 5th position as they head down the back straightaway 2 by 2 as they work further back. But here comes Roger Pierce around the outside of his teammate of Sean Conklin to take the 2nd spot away.
4 laps, 18 positions. That's how far Justin Levine has charged in the early stages here from Kansas. Mac Tools Camry looking really strong here tonight, sitting in the 6th spot right now as he looks to the inside of Paul Bergoli for 5th.
My only question is going to be how well will those tires handle at the end of this fuel run for him as he tries to make sure he maintains his position. Doesn't want to fall off as Roger Pierce to the top side, taking over the race lead. He'll edge his way out over Patrick Gitter as they come rocketing off of turn number 4 across the line. New race leader, the 27 of Roger Pierce.
That 27 machine, he's been looking strong all week too. Really fast in NIS last night. Had an opportunity to win it. Things fell the wrong way with cautions coming out. But Roger Pierce, as usual, chip on his shoulder, trying to show something here. And taking the lead early, 6 laps in. It's a good way to start this thing off. But we'll have to get pedaling because Sean Conklin's looming back there in the background.
Yeah, Sean Conklin is definitely just taking his time right now. Doesn't want to force the issue nor take away his run with the tires at this early stage of the race here as we watch them work their way out across the tri-oval, heading back into turn number 1. Closes in on the back bumper of Patrick Gitter as here comes Paul Bergoli around the outside of Reese Schaefer. He'll take the 4th spot away from him as he works his way through. You're right on board with Bergoli as he gets a little bit of help right there from Justin Levine, who then gets the door shut on him from Reese Schaefer as they come back out of turn number 4. Single file right there against the bottom. A couple of cars trying to poke their nose to the outside to see if they can snag a spot away.
Also, that one that fell out of Roger Pierce's hands last night in NIS. If memory serves, I think it fell into the hands of Paul Bergoli. So keep an eye on that 12 machine. Looking real stout here this week as well. Going on P4 as we look at John Bender working the outside line here. Falling back a little bit early on in this thing as he got passed by DeCiani. Now to the inside comes the 13 machine of Daniel Wiles.
They'll go side by side, the TBR machine alongside with the Team Conti machine, and the 13 of Daniel Wiles will nose out ahead just briefly, but here comes the driver of John Bender to try to power move around the outside. Can't make it work. Chris Vinson sitting in the catbird seat, ready to try to break his way through into the top 10, with Pascalacqua sitting in 12th position. Good little fight for the 9th position as they come down the back straightaway, as we have a battle for the race lead. Gitter sends it into the bottom of the racetrack to take over the race lead.
Gitter out here showing what we see out of him every week. Never want to give up early. Takes the lead, but here comes a crossover. The 27 machine of Roger Pierce sends it down to the bottom. Pierce going to lead across the stripe here for lap 10. But Gitter pulling a side draft down to turn 1, trying to scroll up the 27 machine a little bit, make him tight maybe. Doesn't work. Gitter washes up the track there. Going to lose a lot of time to this 27 machine, but Gitter not giving up quick.
Right on board here with Patrick Gitter as he tries to hold his position through the middle of the corner here, hugging that white line as best that he can. So far, great racing action, but he's starting to lose a little bit of time to your race leader as they come across the line. 0.4 of a second separates the two of them. And in fact, he was almost 0.2 off as Sean Conklin comes and takes the second spot away.
Conklin on a mission here. We know how fast that 10 machine is week in and week out. Trying to keep up with appearance, was it 12 wins this season so far for him?
I would have to say it is. It's one of the most dominant. The only driver who I have to say would be more dominant than what we're seeing from Sean Conklin is someone in the NASCAR Truck Series of Corey Heim, who's probably just as, if not the same dominance that we're seeing right here in the OB Builders Cup Series.
Hey, you forgot one now.
Yeah. Well, you do
forgot
have
about O'Connor.
I did forget about our good friend Connor Zillich over here, and he is definitely one to watch as well.
Somebody that came from our background of commentary. Come on, dude.
Exactly. The only thing is he's just got to stop getting hurt. Hence why I was saying it's not that dominant. If he can quit sliding and falling off of race cars when he's celebrating, I think he'll be just fine.
I feel like a part of the contract for Junior for the rest of the season was to install a rubber floor in the shower as well, so he doesn't fall and break something in there.
No, before he gets out of the car, just install a rubber mat on the bottom of the race cars.
Honestly. If NASCAR's trying to find a way to make these things safe, you're going to put rubber all over the things.
Yep. Bounce back right up onto the car when you fall off the car. So we're keeping an eye here a little further back with the 72 of Shane Clore and Randy Mullins battling for the 16th position. So outside the top 15 we're looking at. Really good fight here as we watch this Hornet's Nest riding on board with Randy Mullins.
Mullins trying to put together a good run here, sitting in 16th right now. Been a bit of a miss here in the mid-season to the late season for that 54 machine. Trying to find the momentum to pull him forward, though, here into these championship standings in the last closing weeks. We need to find a little bit more, though. Got a ways to go to get into the money here tonight. And along with Shane Clore now. And also got to give a shout-out to our producer, too. The high-quality camera work has just gotten better as we can now pivot and look in different angles. It's pretty neat.
Absolutely. Great work from our amazing producer, Mr. Derbyshire, as we ride on board back here with Patrick Gitter, who's starting to fall further and further off pace here quite a bit, as he is now in 5th position.
And Levine keeps on climbing, moving up into the 4th spot. 19 car not going to be denied a good finish tonight here at Kansas if he can help it.
He is going to try everything he can to take that fight to Sean Conklin. I know he's got a lot of work to do to try to make it work as we're now on board with Sean Conklin, but he is definitely going to be a favorite here this championship.
Oh, a favorite for the championship. Hell, I think he's just about got it locked up here with a bow on it.
I have to agree as we watch Sean Conklin coming in here, looking to try to take the race lead away from his Ryco Performance teammate as they come out of the first couple of corners here, heading into turn 1, and he looks to the inside, stays tucked up behind, looking to try to see where he can find that opening off turn 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to squint with my absolutely horrible old man eyes, but I see we got a little bit of love for Matt DeCiani and Patrick Gitter in the chat. Currently, a good start for Patrick Gitter, starting on the pole, falling back to 6th right now, but hanging in, hanging tough. And sitting in 8th place, Matt DeCiani with the climb through the field.
Absolutely. How about Nicholas Isaacs now moving up a couple of spots along with Reese Schaefer? They have broken back into the top 5 as they got around Patrick Gitter. Isaac actually now having this fight with Gitter for the 6th position.
And in our follow-up, talking about how they are clean here, but not in A Open. This is what happens when you got a well-oiled, well-maintained series. These guys here in charge of the OB Builders Cup have done a great job making sure that everybody runs clean and hard, but smart at the same time all season long. Been great all year. I don't know about you, Taylor, but I'm enjoying it up here in the booth.
I am too. I mean, these drivers here have put on one stellar season throughout the start, and we have not seen any major hiccups throughout the entire season. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can continue to do as we draw closer and closer to the end of the 2025 campaign.
Honestly, I think 3/4 of the cautions that have happened in this series all year is from Pocono.
I think so too, since we've gotten to this summer stretch.
From start to finish. That's what it feels like to me.
I agree.
But Sean Conklin taking the lead over from his Victory 1 teammate. Ryko Performance striking early here as it's 1-2. Sean Conklin now your race leader over Roger Pierce. And finishing out that Ryko trio at the front, you got Paul Bergoli, followed by Justin Levine and Reese Schaefer.
Working their way through. Here comes Sean Conklin to the bottom of the racetrack. He will lead that lap as they head across the line and will clear Roger Pierce as we go back live here to watch him now continue to try and stretch out that race lead here, currently at 0.2 of a second and growing as they work their way through the corner as we have a battle for ninth between Vincent and Daniel Wiles.
Yeah, Vincent charging pretty early here in the 33 Harbaugh cleaning services machine. Been a bit of a quiet stretch here for the 33, but tonight looking pretty good to start things off. 21 laps in. Handful of spots up the totem pole, sitting in ninth. He could be a good dark horse to keep your eyes on later on as we look at Brandon Passalacqua now trying to get by Lou Christian here into turn one.
Yeah, I'm watching the action here to see everyone's just now kind of settled in for a run, you know, picking up where they can, a spot here or there, not pushing the envelope, trying to just get through this middle stage because the car is going through a little bit of changes here compared to what we saw in the beginning of the race. Those tires starting to lose a little bit of that grip now, starting to back off those corners to try to make sure you don't get too tight off corner exit or burn the tires and loose off corner exit as well. You've got to be careful with that here during the stage of the race, especially when we hit lap 30 to 35.
Look at Shane Clark getting a little tight with the wall there. Scrapes it a little bit coming out turn two. Trying to fight off that 17 machine of Paul Gallimore. Levine also tags the wall out of turn four. And Gallimore runs him tight up the track. And back up into the wall for the 72 of Shane Clark. But Gallimore losing the momentum, trying not to stuff the 72 into the fence. And he's going to fall back 2 spots here because here comes, I think, Davis.
Here comes Davis around the outside, try to see if he can get around Gallimore for that positioning here. This is the battle for 21st to see who can break into the top 20 in this stage of the race. And as they work their way side by side, the 74 machine of Chris Davis will pass Gallimore as they work their way through. Here comes Brian Johnson also on the hunt as well to pick up where he left off as they work their way across the line. He will slot back in place in front of Gallimore. Meanwhile, Benefield, Kazi, and C battling for 17th.
Let's see what you did there. I gotta get one dad joke in a night. They don't have to be good. They just have to be there.
Yes, it's important for you dads to be there.
Through the field, Chris Crosby now trying to fend off a run here on the outside. Not working out so well. And here comes Adam Benefield sneaking into the picture as well in the 83 machine. Right here, this is your battle for 15th. That's Bryce Rayner there in the 41 machine. Team Conti Chevrolet.
I got to say, Benefield is by far one of those drivers who needs to have a good run here. I mean, every time at least I've been calling the races with you here on the OB Builders Cup Series, Benefield has those good runs in the stages, but always gets caught up in someone else's mess that costs him the chance to continue on. I'm hoping that's not the case here tonight as he looks to try to break further up the running order because he is by far one of those great, amazing talents in the iRacing scene.
See, the biggest problem for Benefield is also his best trait at the same time. He is hands down one of the most patient drivers you'll find here in the field. Problem is he gets a little too patient sometimes and, puts himself around cars that he probably shouldn't be and ends up paying the negative consequence for it. But, in this day and age where everybody races a little bit more like a Ty Gibbs, it's always good to see a old school Mark Martin caliber type of driver.
Absolutely, and he is definitely one of the longest tenured drivers on the iRacing service. I've known him even when I started back in 2012. He was still running stuff. So it's incredible to see him showcasing the amazing talent that he is still to this day.
Yeah, he and I used to battle it out in B Open a lot back in the day when I first got here in 2018.
So far, so good for the most part. As now it looks like Patrick Gitter starting to wind back up as he will now work his way up to the front of the field. He looks to the inside of Justin Levine to get the 4th spot away. Levine will concede for the moment as he hands him the position and makes his charge up through the running order. Reese Schaefer looking to next pick him up and put him down with Nicholas Isaac and DeCiani right there.
Yeah, Levine's at that point now in the run where I think running that outside line as aggressive as he did at the start, it's starting to come back on him. It was a net positive for that 19 machine, but definitely wants to be careful here not to overscrub the tires. Overscrub the tires now they're starting to fade away.
That was
another battle right now.
Yeah,
Daniel Wiles stuffed into a bit of a hodgepodge here. 26 machine, I believe, of Paul Hill working the top line.
Yep, that is 26 to Paul Hill working that outside lane, doing a great job of holding. And as we see that could be some 3-wide action as Wiles, Hill, and Pascalacqua looking to try to do battle for position. As now Pascalacqua looks to the inside of Daniel Wiles to try to take the 12th spot away. And he'll send it down to the bottom of the racetrack, try to slide up in front. Can't quite make it work for the time being.
Pascalacqua going to take away the spot here from the 13 machine down the back straightaway. Shuts the door in his face. Brandon Pascalacqua, another one of those guys too, kind of like Benefield, very patient. And I've noticed in the past couple weeks, that 6 machine starting to get a little more scrappy, a little more rough around the edges, a little more aggressive as we start to get into the later stages of this season.
Watching here as we see Benefield now working his way up into the top 10. He's now currently sits in 13th. He's only got a few more to catch up to, and he is making short work of that. In fact, looking at his times, he is a 10th faster than the next several drivers ahead of him as he comes across the line this time by. And he's still looking to showcase he's got the pace. He was almost 2 tenths faster than Chris Vincent and Luke Christian, who are up ahead of him, and then a 10th faster than Hill and Pascalacqua. And a 10th faster than Sean Conklin as well.
Yeah, but Conklin's so far out right now, probably just riding a little bit, saving a little bit of that tire. He likes to play with the field here.
He sure does sometimes.
Hauling right now, though. See right here, this is part of a run too, though, where you're seeing that patience that Benefield shows week in and week out. It's going to start paying off here because not many of these guys are going to want to try and hold him up too much. They know he's fast. They know, at this point in the season, everybody knows the way that 83 car attacks these races. And they know that, he'll let them go when we get a restart here if, they're on something faster. So if you want to keep that going, you got to kind of roll over and let the man by. But not everybody's going to do that. See Paul Hill, one of the first guys to start going up to the top line here on this long run.
As we watch here and keep an eye on this battle for position between Luke Christians and Paul Hill. I got to give a shout out to Paul Hill. Great drive that he's been having here for the past couple of weeks that I've been seeing him. Really looking forward to seeing what he can accomplish to wrap up the 2025 season as he now holds that 10th position with Benefield barreling down on the both of them.
Paul Hill, that's another real talented driver here in the 8 car, especially. You see him week in, week out in these NISs, with the opportunities to potentially walk away with wins, and out here showing his stuff tonight in OB Builders Cup. Good run for him so far.
Watching Joseph Kazi right now as he's trying to hold off the drivers up behind him of Chris Davis, and is that Bryce Reiner right there in the 41?
Yes, it is. And Kazi's just a tool. That's about all I can say about him.
We can say that because we're all friends here with Kazi and company.
Oh, and Kazi gets loose right there in front of the 13 of Wiles. He's going to check up Wiles. Here comes the 74 machine. Chris Davis looking to the inside.
That is going to cause a little bit of chaos here, and that's going to cause that car to tighten up quite a bit. He's got to be careful with that, as he may lose more position. So that car is definitely struggling for grip right now.
You see Chris Davis, really good run, getting past the 13 machine miles now, looking to the inside of Joseph Causey, but Causey, the opposite side of the spectrum. When I was talking about Benefield, Causey, somebody's going to hang on your quarter pound, absolutely wear you out, to the point where you just want to put him through the catch fence if you can get away with it.
Watching on here, as we keep an eye on Causey, trying to hold off these 4 drivers, or 3 drivers, I should say, that are coming around him, but he's holding on. But I got to say, how much longer can he do so with those tires? Because he is definitely losing a little bit of time and grip out there.
Look at Benefield now making a pass on Lou Christian to try and move himself up another spot here. Passalacqua starting to fade, loses 2, loses a spot to Benefield, and loses a spot to Lou Christian. Now he's under fire from the 333 machine of Evan Say as he comes around the outside line with a huge head of steam. But Passalacqua going to fight back strong here on the inside line and pull himself up even with the 3 of Lou Christian down the back straight.
Lou Christian, Pascalacqua having a good little fight here as they work their way through. Almost going to go 3 wide with C right there in the middle. Mullins on the top. Pascalacqua picks up a 2-for-1 special as Lou Christian loses a little bit of space right there. Nearly hits the outside wall off of turn number 4, gathers it back up, and will continue on his way as he breaks further up the running order to 12th.
And up the hill goes the 333 machine of Evan Say, sliding up almost into the door of the 3 of Christian. Real tight. It's going to bottle them both up here down the back straightaway. Here comes Evan with the run to the bottom and all the way up against the fence is Randy Mullins in the 54 machine trying to make something happen. And Evan gets up into the fence out of turn 4, but he gets a helping hand from the 54 Mullins, but here comes Luke Christian back around.
Christian doing everything he can to hold off the hard chargers that are barreling down on him out through the middle of turn 1 and 2. So far, so good. But Evan C gets a sniff of the draft. He'll try to sling his way around the outside and makes a beautiful job with trying to build that momentum and make the pass work as Benefield now trying to break into the top 10.
Real wide, Evan C trying to make the pass complete this time. Pulls up in front of the 54 machine of Randy Mullins. He's going to get it done for now. Back down to the bottom of the track, trying to shorten the diameter of that front straightaway as much as he can. Now building a run down to the bottom. 54 Mullins slides up the track a little bit in his dirty air on entry. And tucks back in line, but MC has the pass made now.
Here on Evan Say, who's having a good run right here, holding strong. Currently last time by a 30-41, but he has picked up multiple spots after starting in 20th position. And we move up ahead to Paul Hill, who's been on the hard charge as well as he's trying to break back into the top 10 with Benefield ahead of him.
And Brandon Passalacqua was sitting there right now, falling back to 12th, that 6 machine. Reese Schaefer in the 97, holding on to an 8th place position. Somebody that's really come alive here since he's came back to the sim. You know, took a long break, was out, was hurt for a bit. Had to have some surgery done and comes back, strikes hot early, and has just been getting good finishes week in and week out. So it'll be good to see what that 97 machine is capable of once he gets fully re-antiquated with everything. Nobody better than this guy up here at the front, the 10 machine, Sean Conklin, showing us what he's done all season long. Big gap once we hit a long run, pulling a couple seconds away from 2nd place. Starting to walk away from Roger Pierce and Paul Bergoli. Just got to give a big shout out to Paul Bergoli too, man. That's somebody that's really picked it up here this season. You know, last year it felt like he was the butt of every joke. You know, talk about some weeks you're the hammer, some weeks you're the nail. It felt like last year Paul Bergoli was the nail in every situation. This year, really just cleaning it up, getting good runs, getting good finishes, bringing the car home where it belongs. And I feel like we're not too far away from seeing that 12 car becoming a week in and week out contender everywhere we go.
I have to agree with you 100% right there, Sheldon. I mean, Bergoli has by far been one of the most improved drivers since we've been covering him on Grid Vision, and looking forward to seeing how he will do the rest of 2025 going into 2026. I know for a fact a lot of new updates are still coming as we have
we got a yellow. Huge spin, front straightaway, Paul Hill. The fact that nobody hit him is amazing, but I don't know if it was a single car yet or not, but I kind of feel like, see where he got sideways. Maybe that transition caught the rear of the car a little weird.
I see Pascalacqua dropping back as well, so maybe we could see some contact between those two.
A little bit of aero loose there, maybe pulls down. Not super close, but maybe pulls the air off the spoiler. Back end of the car comes around on that 26 machine regardless. A little bit of contact from the 6 machine of Pascalacqua after the fact, but just looks like that 26 got a little snug in that middle lane. Right on board here. I think it might have been crossing the seam, actually. Yeah, you see he gets that right side loaded up on the seam, and as soon as he does, that little bit of grip change right there. It's enough to yank these cars around. We've seen it all week here at Kansas. Right on board here. This is it's going to be out of the cockpit of Brandon Pascalacqua. Down to 3. Trying to get a little bit of clean air to the nose on the 6 machine. And it's that slow slide starts on that 26. There's not really much Brandon could have done to avoid it there, but did a good job backing off to mitigate the damage as much as he could. I feel like that was absolutely a seam cross. What do you think, Taylor?
I have to agree, too, by the looks of it, and I got to say it was a tough break as now everyone's coming down pit road here to service their tires and get a full fuel to run and get themselves ready to go back at it once again.
Oh, with 49 laps on the board, under caution here. We're going to send off to a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back to bring you more of the OB Builders Cup Series here on the grid. And welcome back to the OB Builders Cup Series here on Grid Vision. I'm Sheldon Atkins, joined by Taylor Burris and Austin Derbyshire. Currently, 51 laps on the board. Sean Conklin showing to be the dominant force here from Kansas Motor Speedway, as he's been going toe-to-toe with Roger Pierce, Paul Bergoli, and Patrick Gitter. And that is your top 4. Running at the top 5 right now is the one machine, Nicholas Isaacs. Levine falling back a handful of spots there on pit road, missed his box, drops from 4th to 10th. So devastating blow to start this thing off for that 19 machine. Be interesting to see how much he picks up here as we go green. But lights out on the iRacing pace car as it dives down pit road into the OB Builders restart zone. Sean Conklin, Roger Pierce, pair of teammates in control of it as the green flag comes out. Conklin through the gears, clean. Going to pull a couple car lengths advantage over his teammate Patrick Gitter. Now tucking up side by side here to the 27 machine into turn 1, trying to make something happen for second place.
Really good fight here amongst the two of them as they work their way through the middle of turn 1 and 2, and off of turn number 2, Bergoli will get ahead. Patrick Gitter moves up to P2 right now as Schaefer and DeCiani battle it out for the 5th spot as they go side by side. Throw in Isaac in the monk, and here comes Levine, shot out of a cannon as he works his way to pick up a 2-for-1 special.
Oh yeah, we already know Levine going to center around the top of the track as much as he can here on these initial laps. Side by side now with the one machine. Nicholas Isaacs up to the back bumper of Paul Bergoli in 4th. Those 5 spots, man, they didn't matter for too long for Justin. As you see Joseph Causey trying to imitate the work of his teammate here on the top line. 3 wide with DeCiani down the back straightaway. Reese Schaefer to the bottom, now up to the top. And it looks like all these Sabila guys trying to work that top line here to make something happen.
He's doing everything that he can to try to work it through, and as he does so, he's going to drag Joseph Kazi with him as they come to the top side of the racetrack through the middle of the tri-oval, coming back over towards turns 1 and 2, and here comes Roger Pierce with a big run around the outside. He wants to go back to the front of the field as he gets around Patrick Gitter for the race lead, and he will pull out by about a 2-car length advantage over Patrick Gitter as they head into 3.
Right now, watch, guys. What you're seeing right now is what's going to make Sean deadly in about 15 to 20 laps. He's just back there maintaining his stuff, letting these guys race the hell out of each other at the front. Goes for the quick fallback, hangs out there in 3rd place as we see Paul Bergoli now going to the top of the hill here to try and make something happen against the 10 machine. And Justin Levine sitting back in 5th already.
Levine back up where he left off here before that opening caution lap here for the night's action. And as he does so, he's going to try to get around the driver of Schaefer and Bergoli. Now here comes Bergoli around Sean Conklin. He wants to have a shot at racing for the lead here tonight. We saw how well he did Wednesday night, looking to pick up where he left off here in the OB Builders Cup Series as he tries to get around for 2nd place.
No, almost into the wall there for Paul Bergoli. Dives down to the bottom of the track, tucks back in line behind the 21 machine. Here comes Reese Schaefer up to the top again, trying to make something happen against Sean Conklin through 3 and 4. Not going to find enough up there on that top line, though. But he's going to hang even down the front straightaway. Pulls a side draft as we look at the battle for 2nd place. Heating up again. Paul Bergoli to the top of the track, trying to get past Gitter. And I feel as if everybody in the field has learned something from that 19 machine because first run, everybody was staying glued down there to that inside line. Now everybody running about a half inch from the fence, ripping the boards off it.
Gitter trying everything as Schaefer scrapes the wall a little bit off turn number 4, but Gitter doing everything that he can to try to keep those two above him and trying to maintain position, but Bergoli will prevail and take over that positioning now. Schaefer will follow suit on the outside lane. They're 3 wide behind us, though, as they come off at turn number 2 and almost make out contact with the outside wall.
That's the last thing you want to do, but honestly, if you tag the fence here in this car, it's nowhere near as much a detriment as it used to be with the Gen 6 car, or certainly, you know, as it is in the Xfinity car or even the Gen 4. You see Causey peaking low on the one machine and Nicholas Isaacs on the front straightaway. Now going up to the outside line here, up to the quarter pound, trying to pull a little bit of side draft on that right rear spoiler. Not able to do it, though. Loses the nose as he gets to the right rear of that car and falls back in line here.
Nicholas Isaac trying to get a good run around the outside as he works his way through and almost gets the nose taken off of him from Sean Conklin as he tries to gather it back up and go back at it once again, but he had to check up quite a bit because you couldn't fit a piece of paper between the bumper of Sean Conklin and the nose of Isaac as he's able to get back wound up and ready to go with Causey hot on his tail.
Well, Conklin's trying to save tires right now. He's not trying to give away spots. So he's going to definitely probably be aggressive here at this stage with the blocking. See Isaacs come up in front of Causey, stuffs Causey into the fence a little bit. No contact made, but you know that little transfer of dirty air to the right front or to the nose of that machine stuffs Joseph up a little bit. Now it's going to open the door. Here comes Evan Say looking to the bottom through 1 and 2. Door to door through center and exit, and it's going to be a drag race down the back straightaway, but I think Causey might have the advantage with that outside line. Causey now pinching the 333 all the way down to the paint here through 3 and 4. Up into the fence goes the 88 machine again. Causey tags it again on the front straightaway. Now, one thing that I have heard, Taylor, is that, tagging the wall may not do a whole lot to the car, as rigid as they are nowadays. But the exact words I've heard is it will absolutely piss off the tires.
Absolutely. That's the thing with why you want to try to keep it off the wall as best you can. Yes, these cars are some of the most durable stock cars in pretty much many decades. But the thing is, those tires, they're not as durable as they used to be now with some new compounds and new updates to the tires. So you got to be careful with that as Patrick Gitter hits the wall off turn 2.
Now you see Justin Levine make a pass on the 97 machine of Reese Schaefer down into turn 3. Clean run on the outside for the 19, now moving himself up into 4th place as he puts his eyes on the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter. Patrick Gitter, your pole sitter. Not relinquishing a podium spot too easily here, though. Still hanging on to third here, 64 laps in.
Trouble for Paul Gallimore as he had some issues out there. Have to keep an eye on that. He's sitting in 18th position, but this battle between Gitter and Levine as still keeping an eye on and watching strong as Benefield looking to pick up a couple of more spots as he works his way up through the running order, sitting in 16th. Tough break for him with how far he was on his pit stall. He is struggling to now have to fight his way back through after start or ended up in the top 10 before that caution.
Yeah, Benefield, he's doing what he does best, though. Slowly, methodically working his way towards the front. It may not look good for him right now, 65 laps in, but put a 1 in front of that 6 here at the end, and that 83 machine is going to be a lot closer to the front so long as he can keep the fenders on it.
That's the thing. He's got to keep the fenders on it and not get involved with anyone else's mess. And he is definitely going to be one to watch for this race win or a top 5 finish.
Definitely have to say, out of the Conti cars, I feel like Benefield's got it figured out the best week in and week out, just consistently. Look behind him, Chris Vincent. Vincent just went back to 1955 there for a second. Bit of a blink out of the 33 machine, but everything looks okay coming out of turn 4 for him. I didn't know we were fielding DeLoreans here in OB Builders Cup Series, but hey, try anything once, right?
Well, you might as well do it in style, I'd have to say.
He's definitely past 88 miles per hour.
Well, we got to definitely also get back in time, too, as we watch this battle here of Roger Pierce and Paul Brigoli, as those two are about to do battle. Brigoli goes to the top side and is making short work of the gap between himself and Roger Pierce.
Yeah, Brigoli putting together an incredible drive here in this 12 machine tonight. Working the middle lane right now. He's not really trying so much to build momentum to get past that 27 machine as he is trying to get out of the wake of the 27 machine. And for those of us at home that, just watching, supporting our friends and family, the best way to explain it is that car that's leading there, that 27 machine, he's getting nothing but air to the nose, which allows the car to turn well. If you're stuck behind somebody, you get, we refer to as dirty air, and that just pushes the nose of the car. You can't get the car to turn. You need the downforce to turn. When it's not there, you're just going to chatter those right side tires. As you see now, the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter working the outside line, and he's going to try to blow the doors off the 12 machine with a huge run. He might even be able to get to Roger Pierce here into turn 3.
Big run coming here for him as they work their way. You're right on board with Patrick Gitter as he goes around the outside to make the pass complete on Roger Pierce here to retake the race lead with 70 laps up on the board, closing in on 105 laps to go.
Great drive there for Patrick Gitter to get past the Thompson Caterpillar Camry of Roger Pierce. Pierce right now looks like he's saving a little bit more aggressively here in the 27 machine. You see a couple cars go around him. Here comes the 12 of Paul Brigoli moving back up to 2nd place, followed by Justin Levine, and here comes Conklin to finish it off, moving himself back up into 4th.
He is certainly. So it seems like Roger Pierce is starting to fade away with some of those tires after trying to fight his way up to the race lead. Can he hold on and at least stay in the top 10?
I don't think it's so much of a tire thing. I think right now he's just like, okay, well, I've lost the lead. I'm in the dirty air. Instead of go out here and burn my stuff off, because we've seen it, more often than not with Roger. He gets out there, makes a great run to get the lead, And then he, gets up into somebody's dirty air, somebody's traffic, and he just completely torches the tires trying to find a way by him. And I think right now we're looking at maybe a change of a manifesto for the 27 machine. Just, take it to the back here, let it cool down, give it another stab when it's more important. As we see Paul Bergoli absolutely hounding your race leader, Patrick Gitter.
Watching on here as they work their way down the back straightaway. Gitter stretches it out to about a 0.3 of a second lead over Bergoli. Levine now trying to look to the inside of Bergoli in this stage of the race, with Sean Thompson on his heels as they come off of turn number 4. Top 4 starting to break away from the rest of the field as Evan C., Reese Schaefer, Nicholas Isaac, and Roger Pierce starting to lose touch with the front runners.
Just what about Levine? 21 positions gained. Sitting there in 3rd place right now, that Mac Tools Camry. Putting together a really stellar run here so far. I'm going to knock on wood, because if he wrecks, he's probably going to hit me. But nobody can breathe easy, because that 10 machine of Conklin is well, he's doing Conklin things here. As you see him get to the back bumper of the 19 machine, Levine gets a little loose there, dirty, or the air gets taken off the spoiler. And here comes Conklin sliding over into 3rd place. And it's going to be a matter of time before he gets to the back bumper of this 12 machine of Paul Bergoli.
Single file for the most part here, as everyone now just tries to take care of their equipment in this stage of the race. A lot of racing to go. We've been running for about 25 laps next time by before we have halfway through that fuel run, so drivers now just trying to settle in. A couple of them starting to poke the nose here. This is where we're going to start seeing the comers and goers in this race. Around the end side here we see Benefield trying to pick up a couple of more spots to break back into the top 10. He's currently sits 15th.
You can just keep it green. That 83 machine's going to find itself where it wants to be. Just a matter of that green flag staying out long enough for him to get it. He looks to the outside as we run board Vincent right now, looking to the outside of Chris Crosby in the 9 machine here in the front straightaway. Crosby with the advantage, so down into 1 and 2. Vincent going to try that high line for all it's worth. Stabs the throttle pretty quick there on entry. Gets a good run center, loses a little bit on exit, but gains it all back here on the straightaway. Great run for the 33 machine as he takes over the spot from the 9 of Crosby.
Chris Vincent, we watch on board with him as he works his way around the circuit, coming through the front straightaway with Paul Hill up ahead of him as Benefield moves into 14th.
So we're just under 100 laps to go now. Race running by pretty quick here, I'd have to say. Put it side by side through 3 and 4. Bryce Rayner to the outside of Brandon Pasalacqua. Rayner, another guy that's kind of newer to the series and has been putting together some pretty stellar drives his first couple weeks in. Him and Nicholas Isaacs, 2 late joiners to the season, or to the league as a whole, and have both been running really good since they first got in here. Oh, and Paul Gallimore gets tight to the inside of Chris Davis. That was almost calamity through 3 and 4. Davis going to take the spot, though, down into 1 and 2 using the outside line. Chrome 74 working its way up to the front here. As you see Evan Say now behind the 1 machine, Nicholas Isaacs. Isaacs with a big wiggle through 3 and 4. Not quite the rear insecurity he's looking for out of that 1 machine. Tags the fence coming out of turn 4 at the start-finish line, just chasing it up the hill, trying to keep it in the right direction. As the 9 machine of Chris Crosby, did he just spin down pit road?
That's what I'm trying to go back and look. He did. We got confirmation from our amazing producer. So we'll take a look and see what happened.
Yep, works through 3 and 4. Looks like he grabbed the apron there. And I can tell you that offset the car, then crossing the seam. Same thing we saw earlier. It's enough to send that 9 machine sliding through the grass, and that is going to be a very difficult situation because not only is that heavy damage to the left rear of the car, probably broken toe link on the 9 machine. Absolutely a broken toe link on the 9 machine. As you're looking at the tire that should be pushed all the way in. But it's also going to be a too fast entering pit road as well as an unsafe pit entrance. So he's going to be on pit road pretty much the rest of the night.
Yeah, that's night done for Chris Crosby in that number 9. A tough break for him. I was having such a decent run, though, running inside the top 15.
Yeah, that's at least 5 minutes of required damage repair. As you look at Justin Levine starting to get racy here as he gets up to the back of the 12 machine of Paul Gallimore, but look who's moved up into second. Sorry, Paul Bergoli. I can't believe I messed that up. Somebody hit me for that.
Hit him with a stick there, Paul. Which one? Well, you decide.
Both of them. It's all right. There's a few Pauls in here. Paul Hill could probably hit me too.
Probably.
I'll probably make him want to at some point, whether it's in the booth or on the track. But as we look at Patrick Gitter, honestly, putting together a surprising run here on this second stint. You know, we saw how quick he just got absorbed by the field early on that first run. And he's done a really good job just, flipping the coin here and saving the tires and running the other end of the strategy. And that 21 machine, he may end up losing this spot to Sean Conklin based on the lap times. But Patrick Gitter, absolutely putting together a great performance here from Kansas.
Absolutely, and watching on to see what he can accomplish here with Bergoli staying in the hunt, though. Not falling off the pace too much, just staying tucked up behind Sean Conklin. He's got Levine behind him as well. Roger Pierce is about a good 0.4 of a second behind them as well. So he's got some breathing room to try and just take it easy, back off the corners a little bit, save those tires towards the end of this run, which will be a big-time help for him if he wants to try and challenge for a chance for the race lead, or at the minimum, staying on the podium. As trouble, Patrick Gitter around.
Gitter, no! I just talked about him, too. That's the problem. Question is, was it a seam? Was it aero loose? Because Conklin was just about there. He could have gotten maybe a little aero loose.
I'll have to take a look at the replay here momentarily as we wait and watch on. But for Patrick Gitter, from your race leader all the way back to 18th as we take a look at the replay.
That's way too big of a gap. That's got to be a cross seam for the 21 machine. It's there into the center. Yep, right there it is. See, you see him starting to push up the hill a little bit, which means car's starting to snug up, trying to take the exit. There's a little bit too much wheel on that seam. Man, it's been busting people all week.
How about, though, the great heads-up driving from everyone, as well as the car control from Gitter to not only keep it out of pit road to get an unsafe pit entry and speeding penalty, and also just keep it on the grass, but safely draw it back up onto the racetrack to keep going.
Oh, Gitter is absolutely an incredible talent. And, well, really everybody that was up here at the front. I mean, there's not a guy in this top 10 right now that hasn't, walked away with the top split NIS win at some point this season. As well as, you got first and second in both the OB Builders Cup Series and NIS with Sean Conklin and Justin Levine running the top 3. And, Paul Bergoli with the big win earlier today, and Pierce as well, with multiple wins to his credit. I mean, everybody out here right now in the top 10 is here for a reason.
Absolutely. As we watch on, see how this all plays out. There's Nicholas Isaac with Matt DiCiani running behind him. The battle for P6 if they come across the line. Can anyone else make sure they stay off that seam?
The outside for the lead. Oh, but it doesn't quite work. Paul Bergoli was trying to make something happen on Sean Conklin. Goes a little too high through 1 and 2. That opens the door, though. Here comes Justin Levine fighting to the bottom down the back straightaway for second.
Side-by-side battle for second as Levine gets a good run to the bottom of the racetrack. Bergoli tries to hold strong on the outside lane. They make slight contact.
It was almost, wasn't quite contact. Levine, great job avoiding running into the 12 machine here in the front straightaway. Bergoli ought to put him in the Christmas card for that, because that was calamity.
Absolutely. That would have been chaos and more drivers having to go through the chaos that was happening before them.
This, not only do we, and also Conklin potentially clutching there in the 10 machine. Get a peek on board. To run on board here down the front straightaway, and let's see what Sean's doing. There it is. You see the clutch kick, see the RPM dip. It's not as much as we saw a few weeks ago at Bristol out of this 10 machine, but that is not only probably the main reason these guys are hanging with him right now, but that's him trying to ensure that he's able to make it to the end. Going to try and cut a pit stop out of the equation, potentially. Pierce, same traffic as well. Kicking the clutch out. You heard it there on the broadcast. And I guarantee you Levine's just sending it.
The interesting strategy call to be clutching this early.
Yep, Justin's just sending it.
Gotta love it from Justin as Bergoli. We ride on board with him. Let's see what he decides to do.
Bergoli too, because you see him run the outside line here. You can't clutch and run the top at Kansas at the same time. It's just all it would do is really slow you down and make you equal on fuel wear, as opposed to running the bottom and clutching. Come down the back straightaway here. Sean Conklin leading the hard-charging Paul Bergoli and Justin Levine in third. P4, Evan Say with Matt DiCiani in fifth, followed by Roger Pierce, Nicholas Isaacs, Paul Hill, Adam Benefield, and Chris Vincent. That is your top 10 right now as it sits. You see Roger Pierce losing the spot here to DiCiani. Pierce still on the fuel-saving strategy, just like his Victory 1 teammate up at the front of the pack. I also like the fuel-saving strategy, not just for the fuel advantage at the end of the run, but you're also saving a hell of a lot on your tires by just running the clutch and not attacking your entry. You see one car on pit road already, the 58 machine, it looks like. That is Richard Kleinman. Love these wall cameras. Look at the 27 machine of Roger Pierce trying to fight the one of Nicholas Isaacs here through 3 and 4. Nicholas Isaacs up on the outside line. And Pierce runs him right here on the front straightaway.
Here comes Pierce down to the bottom. He will try to complete the pass on Isaac with Paul Hill right there watching and waiting in the wings to see what he can do as they come off at turn number 2. Isaac barely misses the outside wall right there. There's Adam Benefield. He has found his way up into the top 10 once again. But Isaac will be able to maintain that position ahead of Roger Pierce.
Isaac, that's just another one that I'm interested to see how things work out for, not only the finish of this season, but, the intro of next year. Because that one car has just been bad fast week in and week out since he's joined the league. And that's a name that, I don't think I'd even saw before he came to the OB Motors Cup Series this year. Look at the front, nothing's changed so far. Sean Conklin still leading Paul Bergoli over Justin Levine, Evan Say, and Matt DiCiani in your top 5. And you see Adam Benefield trying to sneak into a middle of a 3-wide scenario here, just trying to keep clean air to the nose at 83 Chevrolet. To the top of the track here, working with Paul Hill, trying to push Paul past Roger Pierce. Down through 3 and 4 now. Adam Benefield works the outside line to get past the fuel-saving 27 machine of Roger Pierce. Now down the front straightaway, Adam Benefield moves himself up into the 8th position as he sets the sights on the 26 of Paul Hill.
Paul Hill doing everything he can to try to maintain and get a good finish here. But here comes Benefield down to the bottom of the racetrack. He will find his way as trouble for the 2 machine. As he will
Joshua
go a little
Hyatt.
off-roading. Yeah, a little off-roading for him tonight.
Hyatt's somebody that needs to come in here and have a good race. He's had such a difficult season in that 2 machine. But you got to give a round of applause just for the persistency, to show up week in and week out, even though the season hasn't gone well. Just tag up against the wall, shot through the grass. No big slides, though. No spins. Come across the stripe here this time. It's going to be 100 laps knocked off of the board. 76 remaining to finish this thing out.
Absolutely incredible driving we're seeing out of every single one of our competitors here as Sean Conklin continues to hold a race lead, but not as dominant. Of course, he is clutching the pedal there a little bit to try to save as much fuel as possible, but still incredibly tight racing action amongst them as we watch Evan C. working on trying to catch up to Justin Levine, who is starting to hold on to the third position. But Evan C, definitely a surprise run for him tonight.
Now, Conklin must smell or something, because look at everybody. They're just running the opposite line regardless of what part of the track they're on to that 10 machine. These guys just trying to find every advantage they can, whether it is running the clean air, you know, tapered off of them, as we see the 26 machine of Paul Hill. Big trouble on the front straightaway, losing a whole bunch of spots.
Oh boy, let's see what happened, and that was around Benefield.
I think we know. I think we know what happened here. Oh, no, I don't think that was seam crossing. I think that was a little arrow loose.
Maybe a mix of both, possibly.
He looked a little shaky coming out already. Maybe I have to see on board to see if he was crossed up before or after the 83 got to his bumper. And how good of a job Conklin's doing wrapping the bottom, though. Look at Alex Coffey and Bryce Rayner here. It's Coffey there in the pink machine.
Ooh.
Coffey, hard contact with the wall. Bryce Rayner, nowhere to go really to stay off of him. Kind of looked like a classic. Kind of looks like one of those classic Kansas wrecks when we used to run the fence all the time.
Yeah, that's
where, you know, you just come out, you know, get in the center of the corner, come out of the corner, somebody tags it, and you just all wreck. So we're on board with Paul Hill. Yeah, he didn't really get loose until the 83 got up there to the bumper. I think he just took the air off of the rear spoiler and off the rear diffuser. You see the 5 machine of DeCiani trying to make something happen to the 19 of Levine, but it's not going to work through 1 and 2 that time, as Levine has found his way back up to the outside. Levine falling back, though. The C's already been passed with the 333 machine of Evans Say. Levine up into the fence. Here comes the 5 of DeCiani. Another chance at life here to try and make this pass. DeCiani now down to the center through 1 and 2. Levine up against the fence. Going to be side by side out of turn 2 here. Down the back straightaway advantage, falling to the 19 machine again. But here comes the 5 of DeCiani to the bottom through 3 and 4.
DeCiani doing everything he can to try to pick up that spot around Justin Levine, and they'll go side by side on. Levine hits the outside wall. That gives DeCiani the chance to take over the 4th spot, dropping Levine back to 5th as they now try to gather it back up. But DeCiani making the charge to the front of the field.
Yeah, Levine absolutely torched the tires off on that 19 machine there, trying to stay with Sean Conklin. We'll wobble it up the track here, fall back a couple spots. Good news for him, that pit window is opening up very soon. We look up at the front of the pack right now. Sean Conklin still walking away. 13 machine of Daniel Wiles signals out the window saying he's going to be coming down pit road this time. Hear that, or he's throwing up the bird. I can't tell which. No, he's coming down pit road. Good clean entry for the 13 of Wiles. No lockup, no speeding. Just come down pit road clean and hope they keep it green. That's all you can really do at this point. Levine absolutely struggling now.
Yeah, his tires are starting to fade off further and further. He's going to keep dropping more and more positions here as we progress further. He needs to definitely make his way down pit road here before it's too late for him. Currently, we've been running over 50 laps here, or right at 50 laps since we've been under caution. So those tires definitely are squealing. As there's Levine hitting the outside wall again. He's got to come down pit road here soon.
As Austin Estrom would say, LeQueen is fading fast. Then you'd probably say roll tide after that.
Something like that nature.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, we know for a fact he had a good weekend at New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah, did he?
Oh, if you think about it, who won the race Sunday?
Oh, he had a great time. Probably why we haven't heard from him. He's probably still hungover.
He probably still is.
It was nice to not hear about toasters on DBC this week.
It was. No toasters required for Mr. Edstrom. after that. But as we watch on here with Adam Benefield, who's picking him up and putting him down as he's running P5, I got to say, he is looking to try to make a charge for the race lead. He has the time to make it work.
What I say earlier, man. You put a 1 up there in front of the lap counter, and you're gonna find Benefield up there at the front. So far, as we see DeCiani as well, showing some late run pace, as the 54 machine of Mullins is down pit road right now. DeCiani peeking down the inside of Evan Say into turn 3. Also, this is probably the best run that the 333 machine's had in a while. Great run for Evan here tonight, and one that he definitely needed. And I think maybe that 54 spun into pit road because he was pretty late in there. And we see smoke heavy on the front straightaway.
Let's take a look at the replay to see what happened. That's right. That's just the one of Randy Mullins coming down pit road. And is this the reason why?
There was a lot of smoke in the front straightaway, and the 54 looked like he got in kind of awkward. Yeah, that's why there was smoke.
Well, Reese Schaefer also decided to come down pit road this time by as well, along with Nicholas Isaac and Paul Hill. As
Nicholas Isaac sideways on pit road too. You know, that's something we should have mentioned in the keys as well. This is one of the most treacherous pit roads to enter for these mile and a halves, and it's not for any of the reasons you'd think, right? Like Charlotte, we look at it, we expect it to be difficult. You know, here you look at it, it's like, man, we got all this room to make it down pit road. Problem is, you got that wide arc you have to take, combined with the fact that the front straightaway on this track for the mile and a halves, it doesn't have a flat point. You're constantly, you know, in a bowl, it feels like. And it is so difficult to get the car to load up and get off onto the flat without it getting hung up on the racing surface. And it can really de-wedge these cars and make them do wacky things. And you see Paul Bergoli come down pit road, the 5 machine of DeCiani. I don't know if he was planning on pitting, but no, he didn't really have an option there. And Bergoli around. Oh, no, big spin for Bergoli on pit road. This is going to be a huge loss.
That is going to cost him valuable positioning here as DeCiani makes his way down, and everyone else will continue. Penalties given out for both Bergoli and Paul Gallimore, so the Pauls not having a good run.
Oh, it's such a bad day to be a Paul. Such a shame, too. Bergoli putting together such a great run tonight in that 12 machine. It's really appalling, Taylor.
It certainly is appalling.
I got to make the producer say he hates me 1 point during the broadcast. That's what I live for. You look, Sean Conklin still with the advantage over Adam Benefield and Roger Pierce sitting in 3rd. Reese Schaefer staying out late, moving himself up into the 4th spot. Going to pick up a couple spots too as we see the 10 machine of Conklin coming down now. I'm pretty sure Benefield may follow. Yes, he does. Benefield on pit road as well as Reese Schaefer and Roger Pierce. No, Reese.
Reese saved it, but does he get a penalty? Joshua Hyatt got a penalty.
You said Josh Hyatt got a penalty?
Yes, he did.
Oh, rough break for the 2 machine. You see DeCiani right now, working 5th position. Will cycle through to be your race lead here, potentially. You see Conklin just now getting off the jacks. It's going to be interesting to see where DeCiani sets himself up here. Wasn't him passing there. Just barely going to be out in front of the 10 machine. So I don't think it's going to last too long because fresh tires, Conklin's going to be charging fast. You know, with all the clutching, I was expecting Conklin to stay out a lot longer.
I agree.
Like, there was, him and the rest of the cars around him, I mean, it was only like, what, 2-3 laps difference.
Very interesting.
Well, maybe there's a little bit of cheese to saving the tire there like that.
I have to say,
you never know
there
with
has
these
to be.
guys. with 118 laps on the board and the pit cycle complete, filled in the hands of Matt DiCiani, Evan Say, and Sean Conklin. We're going to step off for another quick word from our sponsors, then we'll be back to bring you the rest of the racing action here on the grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to the OB Builders Cup Series here live on Grid Vision. Sean Conklin takes the lead back. The pit cycle complete here. 10 machine back up to the front. DiCiani moves himself up into second, though, with the undercut with Evan Say sitting in third. And it's kind of going to be sitting for a while because a couple of guys that were up front, like Paul Bergoli, big mistakes on pit road, losing a bunch of spots. Kind of putting this race in the hands of a few other drivers who weren't necessarily circling just yet, as we see what the long-run pace has done, though, for the 83 machine. Adam Benefield slides up into fourth over Joseph Causey, moving up to P5 in the 88 DeWalt Camry.
Really good run right here as we are 50 laps away from the conclusion of tonight's racing action as we watch on as the field works their way around the circuit. Currently 26 cars on the lead lap. DiCiani, Sean Conklin, and company all just continuing to pick them up and put them down. Impressed to see how he is able to survive, but great round of applause, though, to Chris Davis, who has been running inside the top 10 here recently.
And I ask you, Taylor.
Let's go for it.
Would you say this is a race of the season territory for OB?
I had to go back and look, but I do remember the last time, I have to say, when we called Kansas, I remember Kansas was their season opener earlier this year.
Yes, it was.
And if I remember correctly, it was also a stellar race as well. So I just have to say Kansas Speedway is the best racetrack for the OB Builders Cup Series.
I see Kansas. Kansas is an ISC property, isn't it? Or is it SMI? No, it's ISC because they did the logo change. That's why we don't have the funny font that we used to take pictures of our cars next to in 3 and 4.
Yep.
I swear, NASCAR. I know the weather might be a little wacky, but I think you got to take the gamble. I think you got to make Kansas the final at least 1 year.
Well, we got Homestead next year, I think, which is a little bit more
Yes,
exciting.
and Homestead is amazing, but I feel like Kansas City is a big sports market, growing city. I think Kansas City might be a good place to pencil these things off 1 year.
Well,
And Darby says Charlotte, and I would love to see that. The only problem is, with that being a Smith property, and we know how NASCAR likes to be about, their championship, which is why Homestead even got created in the first place.
yep.
I don't know if we'll ever see it.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is I kind of wish we did keep the original layout to Homestead. Granted, I love the current layout that we have now, but just go back once.
You're talking, which one? Which one are we talking? Are we talking the flat track layout, or are we talking about
we're talking
mile
the
and a half
flat track.
Indy?
We're talking about the mile and a half Indy.
Ooh, boy. Yeah, they had to do away with that, though, for safety reasons.
I know, but still, the speed that track had.
It is absolutely amazing. But, I am kind of glad that we ended up with what we ended up with, though.
Exactly.
That was one track, and that's the track that gained all the love from me when it comes to ISC properties, because they continually, hacked away on it and made changes until they hit it perfect. And you know what they did when they made it perfect?
They went and did something they weren't supposed to do.
No, they left it the hell alone. They kept it perfect. Now it's worn out, and it's amazing.
We want to hear from y'all in the chat. And what do you think would be the best track to have the season finale for the NASCAR season in the near future? As we know, it's going to be changing up a little bit here and there as we progress further ahead.
If you say Daytona or Talladega, I get to hit you in the head with a hammer.
And you, sir, get a hit in the head with a hammer.
Oh, Canadian Tire would be pretty interesting. I mean, Shane Van Gisbergen would win by 3 years. It would be cool to see you try to wreck him for the win.
You got to realize who said Canadian Tire if you look in the chat.
Oh, I know exactly who said Canadian
Yeah,
Tire,
so
but I'm not going to Canada. I'm not going to Canada to smack this man in the head with a hammer. Are you?
I mean, I can.
You might actually. You've made longer trips for less.
Yeah, I have.
You really have. One car into the fence here on the front straightaway, but everything clean. Just a little bit of tire smoke being thrown up. As Sean Conklin walks away with it now, 1.7 seconds over second place Evan Say. And this is the run that Evan needed, because it has been such an up and down season for him. As we look at the closer himself, Adam Benefield, moving up into third place here. Look at the 83 Team Conti Sim Performance Chevrolet working its way around the track here. Another star drive from him. Matt DiCiani retaining fourth as we sit. Went a little early on the tires, but working out fine for the 5 machine so far. Fortis has definitely put together a great performance with both DiCiani and Patrick Gitter being very competitive at different points in the race here today. Unfortunately for Gitter, lost a lot of time with a big slide early. And when you go green flag to flag like this, well, almost flag to flag, one caution separating us in the middle. Consider it the first stage. It's almost impossible to really get anything back. And unfortunate run for Patrick Gitter in the 21 machine in same respective position here as he makes a move to the inside here. Try and take over a spot from the 70 or the 71 machine of Long. So moving him back up into 20. As Shane Clore cutting the grass here on the front straightaway. Big slide.
Can he gather it back up? He does, and we're going to keep it clean and green for the time being, as we'll take a look at the replay of what happened to Shane Clore. He tries to hold on and goes for a little bit of a ride here.
There's going to be a seam, and it's an awkward line, I think. Awkward line up the track, seam, then a little bit of grass cutting to finish it out. World's fastest lawnmower goes to Shane Clore this week, though. Which he's had a lot of competition. A lot of people have been sliding through that infield turf today. We're on board with Conklin here as he navigates his way through a little bit of lap traffic. 72 machine Shane Clore in front of him. Shane Clore with the coldest tires on the track at the moment. That's not going to mean much as Sean Conklin makes quick work here. They put the 72 machine a lap down. Benefield slides his way up to second place over Evan C. As we look at what happened here, and I think maybe a little bit of issue for the 333 machine. Yep, gets loose through 3 and 4, chases it all the way up the hill, opening the door for Adam Benefield to take over second without much contest. Like that. We're staring 35 laps to go in the face.
Absolutely, and we're curious to see how this all plays out. Should possibly see one more pit stop, maybe, possibly, Sheldon?
Potentially. I haven't ran any this week. I've, had things going in on the back end here. So not 100% positive of the fuel mileage. Our producer coming through and telling us that we are good to the finish from here.
That's good to hear. So it means we will see no fuel mileage battle. No one going to be coasting. It's all out for nothing here for that positioning, and see who comes out on top in these stages of the race.
Some guys might be at a little bit of a disadvantage, though, because, there's a couple of laps split between Conklin and the rest of the field. Because, Conklin, Pierce, a handful of others were very heavy on the clutching early in that last run. Which means we were very close to that number. Which makes me wonder, some of these guys might not be as okay as we think they are.
I'm curious to see how that will play out.
Look at Roger Pierce working past the 88 machine of Joseph Causey here to move himself back up to 6th position. Now setting his sights to the Mac Tools Camry in front of him, Justin Levine. Long way to go for Pierce to get up to Sean Conklin, but hey, he can at least get himself up into that top 3 hunt if he just keeps playing his cards how he's got them. But a good couple weeks here for Roger Pierce in that 27.
Here we go, watching on.
Machine. Oh.
As we're watching on with Lou Christian and company, Lou trying to just maintain position in these stages of the race. Lou currently, I'm looking to see where he is out on the track.
P14.
He's P14 right now, as he's trying to hold off Randy Mullins, as they have a little bit of a gap between himself and Chris Hudson, Mr. Consistency, trying to find his way into the top 10 before this race is over with 30 laps to go.
I'll tell you what, a top 10 for Chris Hudson this week would be an incredible feat, because it has been a rough stint since we last left Daytona for that 43 car. It just feels like he's been in the middle of everything, albeit none of his fault. Between that and just not necessarily having the pace that he's been hunting for at some of these tracks. It's 13th place run for him right now. This is a breath of fresh air, because it has been just absolutely abysmal for him the past couple weeks.
Looking through here the field as we watch the drivers moving through at the moment. Greg Carr has one car hit the out the wall.
Yeah, it looked like Randy Mullins just running, I wouldn't say running the Ross Chastain line here through 1 and 2. Well, that'd be Carl Edwards here, wouldn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was a video game move.
That certainly was the video game move. I believe that was 2008, 2009?
Yeah, something like that. It was COT. Remember that. I think it was 08. Office Depot car. So he went to FWAC in 09, if I remember correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cousin Carl.
Miss him dearly.
Get us back on Prime so we can have Carl Edwards back in the booth, please.
Absolutely. Or just come on and race something. I said, oh, trouble for Randy Mullins. I think he hit the wall again off turn 4.
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, you hit the wall once, and you absolutely frustrate those tires, and Mullins is definitely struggling with the back end of that. As Conklin is walking away with it again in a normal fashion. Evan Say with the lapped car, the 72 machine of Shane Clore, trying to work his way past him.
Levine now trying to work his way further up the running order, holding on to the top 5. DeCiani up ahead, Benefiel, and C and Conklin. 25 laps to go. So far, it's pretty much just making sure you take care of your equipment now. Everyone pretty much separates themselves by anywhere between half a second to 2 seconds or more.
Watching battle right now between Passalacqua and Joseph Causey starting to shape up. One thing that I'm hearing is it sounds like Nicholas Isaacs having some issues right now further in the pack. Maybe latency. Something he was coming out of the radio saying something was shooting up sky high. I'm assuming it's something with latency or something like that, because I can't imagine it'd be temps or anything right now. Blood pressure. It could be blood pressure. See Passalacqua getting up to the back bumper of Joseph Causey here, and Causey's going to do what Causey does. He's going to make it difficult for this pass to happen for that 6 machine. He doesn't care if your friend, foe, teammate, admin panel of the league that you're racing for. He's going to race the doors off you till the checker flag comes out.
Going to keep an eye to see how this all plays out amongst them in these closing few laps left to go in the race as they work their way down the back straightaway. And so far, Roger Pierce starting to lose a little bit of pace as Joseph Causey starts to slowly reel him in like a big catch of the day as he looks to try to break into the top 6.
Causey putting together a stellar performance here for somebody that hasn't even looked at the track this week, let alone got on it and drove it. There's 7th spot right now, trying to work his way up to 6. Got to find a way past Roger Pierce, but Roger Pierce, another one of those drivers, is not going to make it easy. But he's got heavy pressure because that 6 machine, the Passalacqua, is going nowhere.
Oh boy, Passalacqua is now getting some major aero push right there. Same thing with Chris Davis as he is trying to hold around and find his way around the positioning.
Up to the top of the track here. Passalacqua trying to make something happen up against the wall. About a half-inch off the fence on entry. A huge run down the back straightaway, but nowhere to go with it. Joseph Causey shuts the door in his face down the backstretch. Causey ducks low. Here comes Passalacqua looking high through 3 and 4. And Roger Pierce trying to make the middle work through 3 and 4.
Nose to tail. Here comes Passalacqua with a big run up on the outside. He tries to get around Joseph Causey for position. He gets to his quarter panel, but Causey trying to push him up the track to give way and maintain position. But Passalacqua not going to be deterred and will try to power move around the outside.
Passalacqua with a huge head of steam up against the fence down the back straightaway. Going to start pulling on the 88 machine of Causey. He's got him cleared down to 3. Comes down to the bottom to take the air off the nose of that 88 Camry. And now he sets his sights on the 27 machine of Pierce, who's up in that middle lane. Down the front straightaway, up to the bumper, almost. Huge run for Passalacqua, but not enough. Roger Pierce going to get the momentum off that high line to keep him in front for now.
Really good fight amongst the competitors here in these closing laps amongst themselves as they work their way off at turn number 2. Passalacqua drops back behind Roger Pierce to try to see if he can draw up some momentum and looks to the inside, sends it in deep. Can he try to pull the slide job in the late couple of stages of this corner? Not able to. They'll drag race off turn 4.
Side by side, down to the wire here. At start-finish line, it's going to be Roger Pierce with the advantage this lap, but coming into 1 and 2, Passalacqua going to send it deep again to the bottom of the track. Huge run through center, but here comes Roger Pierce trying to fight back, but he's not going to be able to do it. He steps over the cushion in the center, and that's going to give the advantage to the 6 machine. Passalacqua moving up to P6.
Great fight amongst the three of them as they continue to do battle. And don't forget Chris Davis in the hunt as well as they come through the middle of turn 3 and 4. Kazi goes a little too wide, traps the outside wall with Pierce. Here comes
Shane Clore in the grass again.
Oh, a little bit of off-roading for him as he gets a little airborne, but continues to join the track in clean fashion. Doesn't get a penalty, and he will keep on going.
The good news for Shane is he did not come down pit road by accident either one of those spins. So difficult night. Could have gotten a lot more difficult for the 72 machine, but he at least has that to his credit.
Great drive.
Roger Pierce settles in here to the 7th position, right behind the 6 machine of Passalacqua, just trying to hang on and stop the bleeding to finish this thing off.
Next time by, 15 laps to go, so we'll take a look at the incident with Shane Clore. He decides to go do a little off-roading once again. He had so much fun last time.
Yeah, there he is. Gets right over that seam. And it comes around again. Some cars are just so close to that ragged edge that you throw any difference in grip to any corner of it, and it's just going to make it do something that you weren't expecting it to do. One guy I got to give a tip of the hat to, though, sitting in 9th place right now, the 74 machine of Chris Davis. And somebody we don't really get the opportunity to talk about. Another bad luck Brian, if you will, here in the series. But together a really strong run tonight in that beast mode Camry.
Absolutely, as they work their way around the circuit here. Kazi gets around Roger Pierce now once again for that positioning. Dropping Pierce back to 8th, Kazi up to 7th. As we watch on and see Chris Vincent and Reese Schaefer battling for a chance to try to break into the top 10, hunting down Nicholas Isaac.
Nicholas Isaac's putting together a really strong recovery after the spin down pit road. Lost a whole bunch of time in that one Chevrolet. But reining it all back in here into the closing stages as you see the 97 machine of Reese Schaefer trying to get to the back bumper. Schaefer also, I think, got a speeding penalty on pit road, if I remember correctly, as Justin Levine tags the wall out of turn 4. That opens the door for a bunch of cars to get around, including the 6 machine of Passalacqua moving up into P5. Levine going to fall all the way back behind Roger Pierce here. Let's get a look at the replay of what happened in the 19.
Did he hit the dreaded seam here? He's running quite high.
He's had issues with it snapping loose on him this
right
week.
There.
There it is. That wasn't necessarily a seam as it was just same snap. He struggled with that earlier today.
But he was having such a good run inside the top 3 at one point. Now he's going to have to hold on and try to maintain a top 10 finish before this is all said and done as we pick up Sean Conklin 3.4 seconds ahead of Adam Benefield and Evan C., who are about to do battle for second.
So we're watching a championship drive from the leader of the championship standings here, Sean Conklin. Showing us exactly why he's been pretty much penciled in as the favorite to win the title for the OB Builders Cup Series since he joined a few months back. So we'll go out for second place right now. Adam Benefield trying to cover the 333 machine of Evan Say. Say takes a peek down to the bottom, though, here in the 1 and 2. Gets up to the quarter panel, but not close enough to pack air to the spoiler. Benefield with the advantage right now. Coming into 3 and 4, though, Say looks to the outside, running the middle lane. Trying to build a little bit of momentum, keep clean air to the nose of that car. Tags the fence out of turn 4. And that's going to hurt the momentum that he gained in 3 and 4. Allowing Benefield to hold on for just a little bit longer.
Got to hold on here as Evan C. gets a look to the inside, tries to get on that quarter panel to push him up the track.
He's got
the opening. Can he maintain and pull to the inside further as they enter turn 3 and 4? And Benefield gives way.
Yep. Yeah, Benefield knew that he was had there. Just going to let the 333 machine go by. Knows it's not worth risking it. And also, they don't want to hold each other up too much. DeCiani 2 seconds back, but one slip from these two cars side by side could open up the opportunity for the 5 machine to sneak his way into the picture. So run on board with DeCiani.
DeCiani doing everything he can to hold on here with a good run. And I got to say, for a great Mr. Austin Derbyshire, making not a bad pick tonight.
Yeah. I think we all had it circled pretty well. It's a real shame for Patrick Gitter getting turned around early.
I haven't seen where Gitter is currently running.
It is absolutely my fault. Pat, I am so sorry. I'll avoid picking you for the rest of the year. 'Cause I killed you tonight, man.
He's currently running P14 right now.
Across the stripe that time. Sean Conklin still with the advantage. 4 seconds now over second place. Second place, a new face here tonight, the 333 machine. FNC. Not a new face of the series, but a first time in second since the green flag dropped 168 laps ago. Benfield holding on to third with Matt DiCiani fourth, fifth, Brandon Pasalacqua, Levine slipping back to sixth. But what a ride it's been for him. Back to front multiple times here today. Unfortunately, falling a little more forward, more towards the back end of it here into the closing laps, but should be able to hang on to a nice top 10 so long as he doesn't get hit with that dreaded snap again. Or get wrecked by the guy right behind him. That would be Joseph Cossey. Chris Davis fighting his way up to 8th place today. Such a stellar drive out of the 74 machine. You know, don't get the opportunity to talk about him too much unless he's been, caught up in something. But this is definitely a night that he was looking for here and a night that he'll remember. Because, when you run green as much as you have here at Kansas and you're running that well, you know you're in the right direction on the program.
Absolutely. As we watch on here with Patrick Gitter and Chris Hudson are about to do battle for positioning. Chris Hudson looks to try to find his way around Shane Floor. He's holding comfortably inside the top 15, get around that lap car, and sets his sights on Gitter and Greg Carr.
And across the stripe that time. 5 laps to go here from Kansas. Through the field, Bryce Rayner hanging on. Difficult day for that 41 machine. Got caught up in an incident early. No caution came out for it. But 19th position, after all the time he lost, I mean, it's a good spot to be in. Up 10 spots, Alex Coffey. Should be the 20 machine based on the graphic, but 54 on the track. A bit of a wrong paint scheme, it appears. Across the stripe here, 3 laps to go for the Dominator tonight, Sean Conklin.
I mean, the thing is, can anyone beat this driver? I mean, there has been no one who has come even close to what he has been able to put out all season long. Sean Conklin, by far, one of the biggest future superstars we're about to see in the world of NASCAR competition.
Tell you what, in a straight up fight where you don't have to worry about dirty air as much, or weird track position games, cautions at awkward times. The only 2 that I've ever seen come toe to toe with this kid in this 10 machine would be Michael Conti and Garrett Maines. Outside of that, it's pretty much been his racetrack since he joined around this time last year. Or at least since I first covered him around this time last year. Now turn 4. White flag in the air. One more time around for Sean Conklin. A day of domination, a day of patience. Great tire management, great pace, and it looks like it's going to be to propel this 10 machine home. Just got to make it through one more set of corners as he works down the back straightaway here at Kansas for the final time. Through 3 and 4, the virtual Kansas City fans on their feet. Coming across turn 4, and a big slide up into the wall. Hard contact for Conklin, but it doesn't matter because he's so far ahead. Across the start-finish line, it's going to be Sean Conklin with the win at Kansas.
How about that right there? And he still holds a 4.5-second lead.
You got to pass Tech somehow with a car like that, am I right?
I have to agree.
I think you just figured we were bored. Want to get the heart rates up, want to get our voices up here.
He certainly did, and he did a great job of doing that and giving us a little bit of a scare.
Oh, no. No, I think that might have been a genuine slip there. Because that looked like a seam cross. The rest of the field just got to be wondering, man, if we had one more lap. Because that thing was cheesed on the right side.
It certainly was. It was definitely worse for wear.
After another dominant drive here in the OB Builders Cup Series, Sean Conklin going to burn it down. What a great race, Taylor. I mean, start to finish, these guys, every week, it's just so great.
It really is.
Long green flag runs, no real chaos, pit strategy mattering, tires mattering. I love it.
Certainly do agree with you on that. You got to just take care of your equipment and be there in the end, and you will definitely put on a show for us here tonight.
We get a look here at the final standings for tonight's race. Sean Conklin coming across the line with the checkered flag and a bent toe link to go with it. Evan Say bringing home second place over third. Adam Benefield fourth, going to Matt Ticiani with Brandon Passalacca running at the top five. Sixth place going to Joseph Causey with Justin Levine in seventh. Eighth going to Chris Davis. Reese Schaefer bringing it home ninth, and running at the top 10 is going to be Chris Vinson.
Patrick Gitter will finish P11, followed by Greg Carr 12th, Chris Hudson and Brian Johnson 13th, 14th. Roger Pierce rounds out your top 15 with Alexander Carr, Chad Kibbe, Bryce Reiner, Luke Christians, and Randy Mullins your top 20.
Bringing home 21st tonight is going to be Keith Long with John Bender in 22nd. 23rd going to Alex Coffey, followed by Shane Clore in 24th. Hard-breaking turn of events, but 25th going to Paul Bergoli with Jose Medina, Richard Kleiman, Joshua Hyatt, Nicholas Isaacs, and Paul Geller ran at the top 30. Then rounding out your field, it's going to be Paul Hill, Daniel Wiles, and Chris Crosby. With the finishing order determined, we're going to start pulling up some of these guys here for the podium interviews here tonight, starting out with the 83 machine after another calm, calculated drive to bring himself up there into the podium spot in the closing laps. It's the closer, Adam Benefield.
Yo, what's up?
How much? Just talk me through the race, man. You know, you start this thing out, you know, like normal, kind of look like you're behind the 8 ball. Then by the end, you're there and you're in the picture, and pretty important.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is actually, I think, the first race that we made it past lap 40 without dying this week. So, you know, that was nice. We just took our time getting up there in those stages and hoping for green flags. Figured that we would find somewhere top 10, top 5. Car felt good. Felt like a top 3 car. Felt like we had the race-winning car, maybe compete with Sean. I don't know. Teammates just sitting and throwing dirty air for the last freaking 40 laps doesn't help. So that kind of pissed me the hell off. But yeah, we cooked the fronts, and then Evan got by us, and yeah, it is what it is.
Well, definitely not the win you're hoping for, but man, how's it feel? You know, 2 weeks in a row we get to talk to you up here in the booth. How's it feel to kind of finally turn the ship around and get away from some of the bad luck here?
I mean, it's good. You know, I'll take it. For sure. I hate being wrecked. I think I talked to y'all the other night after NIS, and you know, just, I mean, you summed it up earlier. I just try to stay patient and stay clean, and I end up in other people's shit. So it's nice to get a full 2 weeks in where I can just race. But you know, the further you get up to the front, the harder it is. Just Sean is, I mean, I'll give him credit where credit's due. He used to not really know how to manage a race at all and burn his stuff up, and he's gotten a lot better at that. So apparently they've been watching How to Save Tires from Adam Benefield film. So kudos to him and everybody over there. But no, he's on it. If you get behind, you get over a second behind, you're not going to catch up with him. So it is what it is. P3, I'm going to go grab some beer and go to bed.
After a strong P3 finish tonight, who do you want to thank and shout out?
Everybody at Team Conti Sim Performance, guys, for putting on this league. It's pretty fun. Tough field every week, and y'all for broadcasting. and all my 3 fans out there that watch. I appreciate it.
Oh man. Good luck next week, and thanks for coming up here and talking to us.
You sound like you need a beer right now. Your voice is a little.
I've been yelling about you guys all night, man. It's tearing me up. The action is so good, you know. I was like, okay, we'll be settled, we'll be calm and smooth tonight. Next thing I know, you are 3 wide, bouncing off each other, beating the hell out of each other. I mean, it'll wear, man. I'm getting grays up here.
I hear you. I got gray in the beard, man. We're getting old, buddy.
Yeah, we're starting to hit that back half of the career here. I think
That's
all of
right.
us in the booth tonight are.
That's right. But no, y'all have a good one. I appreciate everything y'all do. Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you too, man. We're going to head on over to Taylor Burst now with our second place finisher here tonight, the old 333 machine of Evan C.
Here now with Evan C. Evan, I got to say, a great drive for you up there in that CFM performance machine as you just methodically took your time and made your way up through the field to come home with a strong second place finish. Walk us through tonight.
Yeah, we worked our way up a little bit in that first pit cycle or whatever until that yellow came out, and made some adjustments in pit stop that I would hope was going to help me. I didn't know if it would or not, and ended up working out pretty good for us that next run there until we pitted, and just kind of just pit cars off as they came to me without trying to overwork the tires too much. But it's pretty just trying to keep it smooth out there. I haven't ran hardly any races since the Brickyard, so it's just pretty pleased with our results tonight, and I thought we might have had something to go for the win there. I just made kind of too many mistakes when I was in second there, and let Adam get past me, and just kind of to refocus and start putting some consistent laps down again. But we're all pretty pleased with second.
Well, we got the Charlotte Roval next week. What are your thoughts on heading back to another road course race for the end of the season? The final one, mind you.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of road courses, but we'll give it a shot and see. It seemed like before Indy pretty much was all of us running road courses like back to back. So I wish we could get to some other tracks, but I know everybody else has been running stuff besides road courses since I've been going. But we'll see and have some fun with it.
That is Evan C. coming home in P2 here tonight for tonight's action, as Mr. Sheldon Atkins has caught up with none other than the great Sean Conklin here up in the booth.
Still got to catch up with him here real quick. And man, we could just copy paste this from like the past 20 weeks, and we'd all be in the same spot, right, Sean?
Pretty much.
Oh man, domination again, long run pace. Really just feels like you have become impossible to beat, regardless of what series I get to call you in. I mean, I know you're going to say, it's nothing. I just saved my tires and I got good subs from Ken. But how do you approach things is the question I'm looking for tonight. Like, what do you tell yourself behind the wheel? What is it that I need to do and when I need to do it?
Well, it's definitely not impossible to beat me. There's been people that have disproven that. But just going into the race, just business as usual. I know it's same thing that I say every week, but I just go into it just trying to be smooth and see how the race goes, because you plan that the race is going to go green the entire way, so you race like the race is going to go green the entire way. So until something changes, then that's just kind of how I drive until we have to go like 30 laps short run to the end or something like that. But that's pretty much how I just take the mindset into these races. It's just that there's always possibility they can go green to the end, and I drive like that from lap 1.
Next question I got for you. I mean, we've pretty much got everything figured out here with the OB Builders Cup Series with you for the rest of the year. You've been dominant since you showed up, mid-season, and kicking all of these poor old guys' tails, and getting ready to come in here to the off season in a couple weeks. Sure, you're making a run for Road to Pro, and how are you feeling about that? Because I know there's got to be a lot of nerves around that going into it. Am I right?
I mean, yeah, that's definitely what we're planning on. Still don't know what the schedule of that is, so not entirely sure how to plan for that because don't know what it is yet, but I'm sure they'll be releasing it here soon or over the winter or at some point. So yeah, that's definitely the plan coming up into next year.
Well, man, with the dominating run tonight, who all do you want to thank and shout out for this P1 performance?
Just want to thank everybody on the car again. Randy Bell Construction, Gossip Bus Lines, Victory One / Ryko. Just another great set, and it's our first mile and a half on the new build. First cookie cutter mile and a half, I should say. It's one of the high banked, fast paced, almost super speedway ones that I said it last week would be very different because this is what the new build was most meant to change most, and it's definitely a lot different. Top lane is dead, dirty air is bad, and the cars drive weird. So yep. Just again, thank you to all those guys. Sorry to everybody at the body group back at the shop. We had to destroy a perfectly good race car coming off of 4 because I decided to go one-handed the last lap because I was trying to look at something. Won't do that again. We'll keep both hands on the steering wheel at all times, like I'm supposed to. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, that is a creative way to try and say that. Try and distract from needing to pass post race tech.
No,
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
no.
Come on, where's that
No.
rear end housing actually at before we came across that wall?
I don't know. We'll never know, will we?
No, we won't. It's like that Junior Johnson engine that's still probably shrapnel sitting around Charlotte Motor Speedway on the apron. Well, thanks for coming up here and talking to us, Sean. Congrats on the win tonight, and looking forward to seeing what you do next week at the Roval. I think we already know what's going to happen next week, actually. Hey,
We'll see,
don't
we'll
qualify next week. Let's give us a show.
How much money?
I-
Not
Are
to
you winning?
qualify.
Are you winning anything from this championship?
I don't know.
You'll earn our respect, and
Okay.
that's worth way more than anything.
But you know what's better than respect? Win 15.
Yeah, but you know, you drove a car missing an entire front clip at Chicago last year
I did.
for
I
like
did.
5 laps and won. So, you know, we're going to the Roval, and I think, well, I know I wouldn't be able to get around there with both hands and a road map. So,
Yeah, it's new now. It's updated, so that'll be interesting going into next week, trying to learn the new layout there.
yeah, they said they made the track better, and they somehow made it worse because I've seen that corner. That corner is terrible.
It's hard to get the
got
power down.
character. Yeah, you can't get the power down. You can't see where you're going, and then when you get there, you realize you went a little too far. Either way, thanks for coming up here and talking with us tonight, man, and looking forward to seeing what you get done. Hopefully you start from the back. And Taylor, you got any final words for us tonight?
I mean, we saw some incredible drives here today, and I gotta say, looking forward to seeing what we can have happen at Charlotte on the road course, and if anyone can have anything for Sean Conklin this season.
Was that where the question ended off there, Taylor?
Oh yeah, it was pretty much just we're ended off right there.
Man, you give me no time to look at the script now, do you? Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Terrible, man.
terrible.
But either
human
way,
being.
from the entire Grid Vision team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Special thanks to Andrew Cardinal IV of Whiplash Sim Cams, providing the cams used on today's broadcast. As well, congratulations again to Sean Conklin on winning tonight's race here from Kansas. This has been Sheldon Atkins. I've been joined by Taylor Burris and Austin Derbyshire down in the truck. And we will thank you. We will see you next time on the grid. And I want to thank you too.